Ready?
By the time I went overseas, I had him in my head.
Yeah.
While I was posing, going left shoulder down, right shoulder up, turn your legs on, spread your lats, like wider, or, chest up, or something like the things that you always have things that you particularly fall behind in or whatever, don't do or need tweaking, or the body's different, so you need to tweak that so it looks good. I had him in my head, especially in Italy and America, the first one I went to.
Yeah.
So the experience from him giving me that feedback all the time, I could take that with me. I wasn't really nervous or worried about that. I still felt like he was there.
Yeah. You could just hear this little voice in the back of your head.
Voice,
Just going, do this, do that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So by the time I got to the comp only a couple of months ago, I didn't have that. So probably experience, confidence, and a little bit of my own personality coming out in my posing as well.
Yeah.
And I think from my dancing background, that definitely plays a huge role in how I pose on stage, how I transition and that sort of thing. And I started to take a little bit more responsibility and get a little bit more creative myself. Either way, I still checked in with coach, got feedback and whatever. But once you're on stage, you're on your own.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And overseas, so you don't have anyone in the crowd, turn your legs on or,
exactly.
smile
even. I always think this anytime I see any kind of competition, so when everyone's posing, do you guys get cramps from posing, from straining, from posing for such a long and holding poses for such a long period of time?
Cramping is something that I do struggle with a lot.
Yeah. We're sitting here and you're like, I've got a cramp in my leg.
Cramp in my foot. Yeah. But I think it's because at the moment we're going into summer.
Yeah.
So it's getting hot. I've come pretty well straight from the gym.
Yeah.
Trained, probably don't have enough electrolytes in, so it's cramping.
Yeah.
But that's essentially why you cramp. It could be magnesium, potassium, a mix of sodium.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't know.
There's reasons for it.
Yeah.
As you near to stage, as I said, we start filling up. So we're eating foods, we're taking more in, and things like cramping has helped. And I don't think I've actually proper cramped on stage so much that you can't continue. I have seen it before, but it is actually few and far between, considering that probably a week out from comp, we're all struggling with cramping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because we're so depleted.
Yeah, because you're not actually putting anything in your body that's going to...
not enough anyway. So, but on stage, by the time you hit stage, you usually feel not too bad.
Okay. Yeah. The shows I have watched, I'm just waiting for someone to grab their back of their calf and be like, or to see how sometimes you can see the actual cramp running in and out of the muscle. That is, it's insane.
Yeah, cramping is not nice. It's painful. So painful. So, being backstage even before going on stage by yourself is an experience in yourself as well, because you have to be responsible for yourself. And until I went to Italy, my first one, that's why I say Italy was probably a pivotal competition for me, and a huge learning experience, because I threw myself in the deep end. I just remembered.
What? You got to share with us now. You can't just laugh and then not tell us what.
Even as far as tanning. So Europeans, they just get naked everywhere. Right? So over here in Australia, it's very females at this time in this section, guys at this time in this section, because tanning is a process. You may have 3 to 4 layers of tan on. So you need to go the day before, get 1 or 2 layers, and then the day of 1 or 2 layers. So overseas, I've just book it with the tanning company who's affiliated with the show.
Right.
Anyway, so Italy, I go in for this, to get tanned, and I walk in, they're tanning, go down there the whole way. Not everyone speaks English as well. So down the hallway and turn right, the tanning, I turn around to the right, and it's guys, girls, everyone, same room, no
naked.
butt naked, boobs, penises everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know, when you tan, you have to literally stand like a chicken and turn around, and then to get, you know, you're standing over.
Bend over.
You have to bend over so you don't get the. Anyway, so I'm in like the tanning. They did have tanning tents, but it's all open.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the room.
That's not to cover you. That's just to stop the tan going out anywhere
to stop
else.
the tan going out.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the room, no partitioning, no nothing. They had pedestal fans and fans on the floor to stand in front of to dry.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, go over and stand in front of a fan and like just slowly turn around." So there's like 10 of us standing there, guys, girls of all ages, absolutely butt naked. And so you don't know where to freaking look. And you're like, do I talk? Do I not talk? Do I look down? Do I look up? Like, what
do I do a
little wink? Or like, oh, you're whirling down? I don't know. It was the most uncomfortable experience.
It would have been.
That's what I was laughing at.
She thought about all the penises. Okay. Is show tan different to normal tan? Because I know that when I get a tan, I can't get wet for the next 24 hours. So what's it like?
Yeah, so it depends on the tanning company and what type of tan they use, but usually there's a base coat and then a top coat and then another top coat.
Yeah. So are you allowed to get wet though?
No.
Yeah.
So no, you can't. So usually for about 3 days you don't shower.
No, that's why I'm like, if you are training and doing
so
weights, you're not allowed to
there would
sweat.
be one day that you are in the gym with 1 or 2 layers of tan on, and you have to be super careful. And you don't, like, usually you wouldn't wear bra and undies. You just wear a big t-shirt and or something like that, and loose clothing, so you don't get any rubbing lines or anything like. Because even though you're going to get a top coat,
you can still see it.
Still see if there's a big line or whatever.
Yeah.
The worst part is pee.
Yes. Oh my God. When it accidentally dribbles down your leg.
Right? And everyone thinks that you don't pee on yourself until you have tan on.
Right? I have to agree with that. I really do. Yeah.
Like, we pee on ourselves every freaking time, Nelly.
Yeah. But you only notice. You must only notice that when you're.
So pee, because it's so acidic. Yeah. Especially if you're depleted and in an unhealthy state. Yeah. It's so acidic that it literally just strips the tan. And so.
You're not wearing anything that's going to hide it either.
No, you are literally, I call it a piece of dental floss, that shit. It's dental floss.
Dental floss is bigger than what you guys wear up there.
It's right up your clacker. So, you can use a pea cup or a cup with a hole in it or something. Like there's particular like shiwi.
Oh, like a shiwi?
Shiwi.
To stop it from getting on your leg.
So everyone takes a shiwi and you use a shiwi so you don't pee on your leg and mess up the tan.
Oh, wow. I have used one of those shiwis before.
They're quite hard to use.
And I got more, and because I was doing a 1,000-kilometer mountain biking ride, right? Yeah. And I tried to use one and literally peed
everywhere,
all over myself.
So I did that once in one of my first comps. I was like, I can't use this. So I worked out a tactic to
Tell
pee.
me.
You just have to spread your legs really wide and lean really far forward. Okay. And I've taught it to other people and they reckon it works.
We're going to do a demonstration, post it up on the Instagram videos and be like, this is how you pee when you've got tan on.
But it's so true. Like, and all the girls, you'll be all laughing. They'll be all laughing.
Because they're like, been there.
Yep. And then trying to touch up pee, stain or stripped tan is so hard. It's really hard to touch that tan up and cover up the stripped tan. Yeah. So, but anyway, so in Italy, we all did it together. It was a communal tanning session.
Oh gosh, so, were you like the last two that you were like?
I think when I got back to the hotel, I think I FaceTimed my coach and I was like, you are not going to believe what
I just had to do.
What are the things I have to do?
I mean, how was it the next day when you're like all up on stage and you're like, well, I've seen you. Oh God, we're so immature.
But what I an amazing cultural experience.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
An amazing experience.
Yeah.
No, it really was.
I love nude beaches, and like I love that people feel free to do all that kind of stuff. I love doing it as well too, but yeah, I'm just like I'd still feel awkward in that situation.
Afterwards, it is quite empowering when you do something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like in Japan, we go to the onsen.
Yeah, what's that?
The onsen, the hot spring.
Yeah, right.
And you all go in naked.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought Japanese people were quite conservative.
They are.
Yeah. Oh, I just wouldn't have thought that they did anything that was
quite conservative.
Yeah.
But the onsen, it's very traditional, and you all go in.
Male and female?
There are, I do believe there are mixed ones, but mostly not.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I've never been to a mixed one.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe there's not.
Yeah.
But separate, but essentially you all go in together. Like, I would go in with mum and hubby's sister and then the nieces and all the aunties and whatever.
Yeah.
You go in, you get completely undressed.
Wait, in front of your mother-in-law?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I will get in front of it. It's naked in front of a stranger, but not.
In front of a stranger is actually easier.
Yeah.
This is where I was going with that.
Yeah.
It's actually easier. So once I got over the fact that I was naked in front of all of these strangers and getting tan, I was actually a bit okay with it.
Really?
I was just like, all right, spin myself around, and you ended up all just chatting.
Yeah.
In Italy, right?
Yeah.
But maybe the cultural experience from Japan helped that a little bit. But in Japan, yes, you go into the hot spring and it's a family ado. Like, let's all go to the hot spring and then let's all go out to dinner. So you all go, and especially my husband is from a big family. So his mum is one of 7 girls.
Yeah.
So huge family. And they're all, because they're all females, they're all close-knit.
Yeah.
And they all, meet up, especially if we go back. They'll all come around and everyone will be there, and there'll be, 10 plus people.
Yeah.
We all go to the onsen.
Yeah.
And to start off with, I was like,
just insane. I just
so that's a cultural, big cultural experience.
Jeez, I thought.
And when I first did that, I was extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. I bet.
Very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's people you know.
Had you been bodybuilding when you first experienced that? Had you been bodybuilding, or were you
the onsen?
Yeah, this is pre-bodybuilding.
Pre.
Yeah, okay.
I actually haven't been to the. Ooh.
What?
I haven't been to an onsen since looking like this.
Oh, really? Why not? Why?
Well, I guess because we haven't travelled as much this last couple of few years because of COVID.
Yeah.
And where mum lives, so is my mum-in-law.
Yeah.
Where mum lives now, she actually has onsen connected to her house, and her bath is onsen, which is very rare.
Yeah.
But the onsen, the hot spring water, is extremely good for your health, for recovery, for your skin, your hair, nails, and all of that sort of thing.
Beautiful,
so she has it in her house. So we actually, as a family, haven't been to onsen for quite some time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
would you feel awkward? Would you? I want to just go back because you.
You know what?
Would you feel awkward
you just
now?
see my face. I
was like,
you know what? I would feel extremely uncomfortable now going.
Wow, okay.
Looking like this?
Why? Like, what?
Why with all the little Asian girls?
Well, this is, I was going to get to, because I know we've spoken about how your mum feels about her little girl,
baby.
looking like an absolute beast. How does Rue, your husband's mum, feel about it? Because we've spoken before, Rue isn't into bodybuilding at all. He's like a Japanese hippie, as we've... described him as.
Hippie,
we will get him on one of the upcoming podcasts. But and most Japanese women are conservative and quite petite.
Yes.
How does she feel about you looking like this?
Family are very different.
Yeah.
Look, they've let a white girl marry into their family.
Is that not a common thing?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So...
In the Philippines, it's very common.
It's almost like highlighted, right?
Yeah, so, anyone's doing whatever they can to get out of the country. Like, I need a green card somewhere. Give me that visa.
They're a very tight-knit culture, which that's why they have so much cultural heritage and it's still so strong, right? Because there's not a lot of into marriage a lot more now than they definitely used to be. But Rue's family are very open-minded.
Oh, good.
And a lot of the cousins, so Rue's cousins, have travelled a lot. There's a lot that live overseas.
Okay.
And are interracially married. Is that what you say?
Interracial marriages?
Yeah. I think it's a very rare family, like as in they're very different.
Yeah.
In a beautiful, positive way.
Yeah.
So I am literally just welcomed in as one of them.
Oh, good.
Like really, yeah. But so with that in mind, even just before my last comps, Rue's mum and auntie, cousin and nieces came out to visit.
I think I remember this. I was actually training here in your gym. And,
and they were here for 2-ish weeks. And I mean, I was a zombie.
Oh my gosh,
because I was, they were here right up until about a week before I competed first.
Yeah.
So they really seen the hard end of prep. And of course, mum being mum was a little bit worried because, you don't look great at the end. But she was like, you always look after yourself or whatever. But she never once said, like, I don't want you to do this, or like, you sure this is okay? There was never a negative, it was more like, you're incredible.
Yeah. I think that's probably trusting as well too, that one, you know what you're doing and that and I mean, her concern, not only just for you, but for her husband and her grandchildren as well too, like that you would never do anything that would put jeopardize them in any way.
No,
so that's a trust that I think that she has in you. Hello, are you going to come in?
No, they're getting closer. They will come in one day.
These boys are just the most adorable boys, and they're just so well mannered. And there's been a couple of times where
to come in, I won't. They're so well mannered.
They're so well mannered that they won't come and interrupt. And I mean, what kid usually would usually kids will just come screaming in and be like, "I want to get your attention."
They'll come in one day.
They still, they're still
Ruth's mum, and that's a Japanese thing. Yahoo! Can you have ice cream? Yeah, you can have an ice cream.
Just a little mum coming in and game face. Let's go.
Rue's mum really saw the pointy end and the hard end, and even then, she's like, "You are just incredible. So supportive, so encouraging." One of the first people that messaged me when I won, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Incredible.
But she speaks to you in Japanese, right? I know you're
she doesn't speak any English. Or very, 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 very little. So it's all in Japanese.
And you are fluent in Japanese.
Yeah.
I really want you guys I really just want to capture it very candidly. Rue coming in, speaking to you in Japanese, you having that conversation back with him in Japanese. I just want to hear it. and we're going to capture it and you're going to hear it here first. I'm just hanging for it. Because usually when we're in here training,
he'll pop in and say something.
But it's only very brief. It's not like a full, conversation.
Just checking something for the day or something like that.
And I'm I remember doing Japanese classes in year 7. I think it was you had to do it in year 7 and year 8. And damn it, I wish I paid attention. Because I wish I knew now.
Because we could be talking about you.
100%. Yeah. All I just assumed that you guys are.
How open, honest, and truthful I am. I just tell you what we said.
Exactly. I know he's is that all she's lifting? Yeah. Tell her to push harder. Oh God. Yeah. So back to you being overseas, and then comp is done, and you are when you are wanting to celebrate the achievement that you've done.
Because you've just watched me go through this.
Yeah, and I actually remember you saying to me I think in the first week that you'd come back, and because we were back into training the week that you got back, and you were like, it was just really just coming off stage and you just got no one there, and even though you've got everyone in your phone and whatever, it's just different.
Is blowing up. So, and I experienced this in Italy, in America, and I thought I was going to be good with it, but I think this last comp was such a huge mountain to get there.
Yeah. It was such an achievement.
I've never worked so freaking hard for it. And then to achieve that dream.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be good with it, but I was actually pretty down in the dumps, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Oh, I just got like this chill in my body. I was like,
yeah. And you achieve something so incredible, but you get off stage and there's no one there. So like you've literally won the crown and you get off stage and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
All right, now what?
Now I'm going to go and eat dinner on my own.
On my own.
Yeah.
Which I do have a tradition. After I get off stage, I always go out for a steak.
Yeah, I remember you actually saying this to me.
I always. So I went out for a steak.
You don't do because even like you got to think like after so much restrictive eating. I think this is how I know that you eat steak every time after comp, because I was like, girl, tell me what your go-to meal is. Like, I want to hear, 3 pizzas, a bucket of fried chicken, like heart attack material shit, right? Clog your arteries. And you're like, no, I just go out for a big steak.
But I will never forget the Florentian steak.
Oh, okay. Explain.
So
it sounds amazing.
Yeah, you got to say it with some sort of stats, right? Yeah. But so in Florence, they have a Florentian steak, and it's a 1.2 kilo T-bone, but it's like a particular type of cow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I got there, like there's these steak houses, and I'm like, I'm
in heaven.
I am in heaven and I'm so freaking hungry.
Yeah.
Where am I going after comp?
Yeah.
And literally the unit that I'd rented downstairs next door, so I could smell it all the time. It was divine. Was one of the most famous steakhouses in Florence.
Amazing. Even
anyway,
better,
so
right on your doorstep.
I was like, are you serious? Of all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it's meant to be. It's a match made in heaven.
So on the second day that I was there, I made a reservation for the night for one. And I knew exactly what I was going to eat.
Yeah, I would have pre-ordered as I booked, made the reservation. By the way, I'm getting that, and it's going to be rare.
They're open really late, like in Italy.
Oh,
they're late starters.
Yes.
They're really late
starters.
starters.
The same in Greece as well.
Which was
Philippines is the same.
Annoying because I want to get up and get moving and go to the gym, and it's just like...
Yeah.
So
they breakfast at lunch.
Yeah, breakfast at lunch.
At 3.
Steak is my thing post-comp, but in Italy, I made the reservation, and after I got off stage and celebrated by myself, I literally jumped in a taxi and I was straight to that. So I actually felt quite nice in Italy. It was a big achievement, but I think I had so much going on, because I was so new to it still, that it was still quite a buzz.
I was going to say, just that buzz in you.
I think being in another country, different language, like culture and everything, was different in America, because America is a bit more similar to us, right?
Yeah.
So even and they didn't find a great steak.
Yeah, no. They have great processed food if you like plastic.
Yeah. So after Vegas Natural Olympia in 2022, I was lucky enough to make good friends with some of the organisers.
Okay.
And they took me out for breakfast the next day, and then we had a gym day, and then they had a signing day and that sort of thing. So the buzz did sort of keep going. So I did have a bit of but not too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. And then when I got back in the gym, they had balloons everywhere.
Yeah.
And, they had shirts made for me and Coach, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So the buzz kept going, and I felt really good.
Yeah.
Even though there was a few days in America that when I was by myself before I came home, that I did feel that little bit down. Like I'm by myself and I've achieved so much. So
and it might be hard to also, like, where was there in that time, because you're alone and you've got no one to really kind of have that bounce back or in your like right there with you.
That
you
vibe,
go,
that energy.
shit, did this actually really happen? And you start to go.
I think this last one that really hit me.
Yeah.
I think because it was so huge.
Yeah.
And I think how much I had to work for it and having 2 years off.
Yeah.
You know, it was slog after slog, day in, day out for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I really put everything into it.
Yeah.
And a lot of sacrifices go into it. You know, I had injury in between, I had surgery in between, I had torn hamstring 7 weeks out. Like, there's so much that happened in that 2 years that
and you had to overcome.
I had to overcome. So it was huge. It was a huge mountain to get there.
Yeah.
So I think when I achieved that, it was so overwhelmingly huge that I didn't know how to celebrate it. I didn't know how to react. And then when you don't have anyone there to celebrate with, and you know, this is such a huge federation, I didn't know anyone there at all. I literally got off stage, went to the restaurant downstairs, had steak, and went back home to the room and just sat there and went,
what now?
Like, did that actually happen?
Yeah.
And straight away the next day I woke up feeling off. Like I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like,
what is
like,
the meaning of
I've
life?
got this big red pro card that I just worked so hard for, and now I have a piece of cardboard. Which I've probably spent about 30 grand to get here.
Yeah, the most expensive piece of cardboard you've ever.
But man, that piece of cardboard, it's up here.
Yeah, for those who were just listening to the podcast, it's actually
the
up
IFBB Pro card
behind us.
Yeah, so I brought the piece of cardboard home with me, and it's now on display up in the gym here behind us. Yeah. But the most valuable piece of cardboard.
Oh, is that a reprinted?
No, that's actually it.
Oh, that's it there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said at the gym. You're not talking about
this gym, my gym.
For some reason, I was thinking the gym that you go to actually train, your own gym. Yeah. It is behind us.
It is behind us. So, and then, you know, when you get back, I think and what I have learned is if I spend extra time over there post-comp, everyone here is so excited and whatever, but that calms down, right? Yeah. Because I'm not here.
Because then it's like another 4 or 5, 6 days.
Yeah, but not only that, I'm not here for them to keep the energy and the vibe and the celebrations and that going. So by the time I get back, that's all dampened down and I'm like, well, it's too late now anyway.
Girl,
so it's like a double whammy of
next year.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Book that flight. First flight out as soon as comp's done. Don't even just pack your bags, go straight to the airport.
Yeah. So that would be the first option, just to, and I know a lot of competitors do, and maybe that's why, to get home to family, get home to coach, get home to gym, whatever, to the community that have literally been through the whole thing with them.
Yeah. Because you got to think, like, when you know, especially when you're left, you've gone over there, you're a week out, you know, you're so focused on everything that you need to do right up until that moment that once it's done. Yeah, why sit there and just sit there on your own when you can just go, you know, have the steak on the plane.
And you literally.
Or you had the steak when you get back.
In London, I should have done that. Yeah. Like I should have come straight home.
Okay.
Because I didn't plan anything like any travel or anything like that afterwards. In America, in Vegas, I went and did like the Grand Canyon. Yeah. And I did heaps of stuff in Vegas. So I kept myself really busy. Yeah. But in London, I was just like, I've been here. Like I've
seen the Big Ben, been there, done that.
I think because I've traveled so much, and I did travel through Europe after high school. Yeah. And I lived in London for a few months. Yeah. So I wasn't interested at all to do anything. Yeah. Oh. So the days post-comp, I literally just went to the gym and ate and slept and went for walks. So it was a bit like... I'm just waiting
for new players out there.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this because you are going to be traveling overseas to compete, book the first flight back home because no one's going
unless
to.
Unless you're with a partner or something like that you've planned to travel afterwards or whatever. And post-comp is another huge topic we can talk about. Post-comp Well, firstly, it's like a wedding or anything like that. That anticlimax after, a big event. You're like,
we are definitely talking about this in the next episode. We definitely need to talk about this.
We need to talk about post-comp because the food everything's hard.
Yeah.
It's probably the hardest part of your prep.
Yeah. Yeah. The food.
Everything post-comp. Those first couple of months post-comp.
Yeah,
and a big comp is hard. Your food, your training, your body, your hormones, everything.
Yeah,
you're trying to get everything back in and then
back to normal. Yeah.
And there's so many emotions that go on post-comp. You're so in the zone leading into comp that yes, you make so many sacrifices, and then you get post-comp and you realize how many sacrifices you have made, especially your partner, your kids, your friends and that sort of thing. And you think, whoa, I feel really bad.
Well, because a lot of people...
It's an emotional roller coaster on so many levels.
Because this is your journey and there's a lot of people that don't, understand it. And especially the ones, friends is different because, they can choose to be your friends or whatever, fully knowing what you do and the commitment that you need to give. But when it comes to family, your husband and your kids, it could be a little bit different. Has any of them ever are there times where the boys just I just want my mummy, I just want you to stay home?
100%.
Yeah.
Now they understand, Rue is so supportive. That's my husband. Rue, so supportive. And he explains to kids that this is mummy's job. So
it's like him going to work.
It's like him going to work. Once or twice a year, mummy's going to go overseas. Now, the longest I've been gone is 2 weeks. Next year's going to be longer. Yeah. So next year will be about 4 weeks that I'll have to go to the States for the comps. Yeah. And I know, I'm going to miss the boys so much, and they're going to miss me so much. You see how close we are.
Yeah, and the time difference is the
killer. Is a killer as well. That was another good thing. So when I went to Italy, I wasn't so huge on my social media then. And Rue said to me, you need to be more active on your social media. He really pushes me. Even doing the podcast, he's like, hurry up and get it started. He's really supportive with stuff like that. Get yourself out there. And I'm like, I don't want to. Yeah. But before I went
we all need a bloody Rue in our lives, don't we?
We so do. He's an angel. He said, all right, well, why don't you use your social media as a diary to the kids?
Yes.
Because you will then say everything and everyone wants to see it. Yeah. So I literally, from the day that I arrived, I used my stories as a diary to the kids, what I ate, where I went. Yeah. And I did it as if I was talking to the boys. Yeah, yeah. And so I went into lots of little details that I thought the kids would be interested in. Yeah. Anyways, because the time difference is so different, then they would stay up and watch all my stories.
Yeah, right. Oh,
so
beautiful.
Little did I know that then the interaction on my Instagram went crazy because
it's like
everyone
a diary.
Actually wants to see that.
Yeah.
So there was a method in his madness, but it was a great idea. Yeah. It was such a great idea. Yeah.
So is that what you do now when you're in comp? Or?
Yeah, I do try to, yes. Yeah. This last one I was a little bit slack because it was different. It was intense. Yeah, it really was. And I think next time I will be much better at it because this was totally...
Well, next time I'll be with you. So I'll be like your little content queen. All right, selfie video today. I'll be like, Rue will be messaging me. You need to get more.
She's quiet. Give her a kick. Yeah. So I'm sure I'll be better at it.
Yeah. I mean, when you are so... You're
even
so
doing
focused.
This
I think you need me over there with you and for next year
100%.
To, focus. I'll do all your content. We can still do the podcast. Look at me trying to wean myself in.
I'll just pack 3 suitcases.
Yeah.
Squeeze you up into
and I was like, and I'll just hide in one of them. Oh gosh. All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
I think we've done the whole trip, haven't we? We've come back.
Yeah, it was. It's really fascinating because there's so much about it about a flight and a trip overseas. That when you go away for holidays, it's like the only things you're worried about. You've got your passport, undies, socks, whatever. But
even double checking your suitcases of what to pack. We've got bikinis, and at that time I had heels as well. Jewelry. Yeah. just in case.
Everything that matches.
Yeah, I'm doing good, aren't I?
You are doing well.
I've got red tights on and red earrings.
Yes, for those that aren't watching the video,
yes.
sorry.
So, and the just in cases, like essentially you're going over, this is another little tip. So you're going over to compete. If your luggage gets lost.
Yes. What about I was thinking about this when you said I take extra food for the first 2 days just in case. I'm like, in my mind, you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt. What happens if you lost your luggage? I was more worried about the food, but what about your bikinis and everything?
So, and this was another thing I thought of before I went over to Italy. So this is why I say Italy was so pivotal for me because I just learned so much about travel, about comp, about how things were run overseas and that sort of thing. So now when I go over, I'm pretty open-minded and ready to expect anything. Yeah. And I think you can become a little bit more flexible. But essentially, I packed my 2 suitcases. Yeah. Right. One is a comp suitcase which has all of my comp stuff in it, apart from one bikini. Yeah. One set of heels. Yeah. One set of earrings. Yeah. A ring. Yeah. A bracelet. Yeah. And boob tape. Right. So I have one package that is my main bikini that I want to wear. Yeah. In the suitcase I have spare. Yeah. Spare everything. Yeah. And a heap of other stuff. But I always take in my hand luggage my first set. Yeah. Okay. And it does not leave my side. You. Yeah. Because if essentially, as long as I've got that string dental floss. Yeah. Yeah. And my heels and some tape. Yeah. You can still hit that stage. I can still hit that stage. Yeah. And my earrings, I've got one set with me. Yeah. And in my hand luggage, I literally have a change of clothes, one set of gym clothes. Yeah. And a comp. It's like a mini version of my 2 suitcases. Yeah. As well in there, I have 2 serves of protein, 1 serve, like as in powdered protein. Yeah. And 1 serve of protein and 1 pack of rice. Yeah, right. So it's like a SOS kit. Or whatever you call it. Yeah, the emergency kit. The emergency kit. Yeah, first aid. And that's my hand luggage. There you go. When I go over. Yeah. Yeah. Prepared. All right. Yeah. For new players out there, that's what you need. Yeah. So next episode, we're definitely going to talk about the post comp and what that is like, because I feel like, in just different ways, a lot of people have felt this, whether it be, a come down from a relationship or, you'll be able to relate this. It's so many aspects of your life. Yeah. So we're going to get to that next time, but we are going to say goodbye and see you next time. Yeah. Mwah! Love yous. Ready?